Hey folks, how are you? This is Kurt, your host of the Mañana morning check-in. Today it is June 23rd, 2021, and I am super stoked to once again come to you today. Yesterday, I came to you from the car. I was driving along and I did the Zoom thing live. I was actually in the truck. I was on my way to go mountain biking. And so I was hoping to broadcast live from the road and be a change of venue, right? Something interesting to see. But then when I look at the footage, what you got was the black Zoom window with my name across it, right? So moving forward, I'm going to try and come up with better ways to broadcast live to you from other venues, right? So that things are a little more interesting than a whiteboard and a tool board and things like that. But man, here we are. It is Wednesday. It's hump day. It's the middle of the week. And, you know, I said that I was going to take a lot of my personal opinions and put them over to kurtvonanen.com, right? And try and keep this clear of some space. So while saying that I'm staying clear, I will let you know that some of the news yesterday really knocked me back on my heels a little bit. And so if you're unaware of, you know, what fantastic information was shared with us yesterday, you can head over to kurtvonanen.com and you can sign up and look at stuff over there, or you can, you know, hit up, I don't know, YouTube or, you know, DuckDuckGo or something, and, you know, look at some of the news information that was released yesterday. Now, moving on to more silver lining on the clouds things, man, I'll tell you what, and I'm going to give the props to Giver Marketing on this one. Giver Marketing was so instrumental. They were so impassioned when they talked about using LinkedIn as a networking tool that I was like, well, you know, if you guys use it, I'll try it, you know. And I was doing some LinkedIn stuff on my own and I was growing numbers, but I didn't really know anybody, right? Like, yeah, okay, I added 10 users this week. Great. Next week, I added 15 users this week. Now what, right? Like adding users to your number doesn't do anything for you, right? I have no idea who these people really are. They don't really know who I am. They're not going to refer business to me. I'm not going to refer business to them. And I got a secret for you. When I connect to people on LinkedIn, it's not to actively sell them stuff. It's to get to know who they are, so that when I think in terms of my network, my circle, and the needs that my circle might have, it's nice to be able to plug people together. It's nice to be that connection guy that goes, oh, I have 5,000 people I'm connected to, and I got these 10 that came to mind right away for this need that you have, right? So why don't you contact, you know, one of these guys? In fact, out of that 10, you know, these are my top 3, right? And when you can do that and you can refer people with a clear conscience and knowing them, you know, first person, there's value in that. There's huge value in that. And so I have been having meetings off of LinkedIn for the last year and a half, maybe, and it's just been a hoot. I have gotten to know some really awesome people. I've been invited to some really good podcasts. I've had some guests jump onto my podcast. And, you know, we've shared a lot of links and a lot of information back and forth with each other. And through this whole COVID crisis where people were struggling with working remote or isolation, I felt less and less isolated as I began to know more and more people from around the globe. For instance, over a year ago, I think it was, I had a Zoom meeting with a guy named Dennis. Dennis also works in the LinkedIn promotion space. Dennis is somewhat of a genius. And one of the people that commented in Dennis's threads was a guy named David. So David and I connect, and sure enough, turns out I think he was in Denmark. And so I had a meeting with him. So here I am sitting in Southern California, having active meeting time with people in Greece, Denmark. And then you look at the other people that I've been able to help and assist, right? Italy, Spain, France, Nigeria, Kenya, Japan, Taiwan, Canada. That's close, but it counts. It's a different country, right? Canada, Mexico, Colombia. I just had a meeting with a guy the other day in Colombia. You know, this experience to me is It's revolutionary. Here I am in my 50s. As a kid, I always wanted to travel. So I'm going to give you the way back, right? Now, this is before cable TV. This is before smartphones. This is before the internet, right? So I would be watching like PBS and I would see some travel show. And, back then the travel shows weren't that dynamic. And, they would go to Italy or they would go to Spain or they would, let's take a look at this, ancient city in Russia, right? Or something. And so I would watch these shows and I would daydream about how cool it would be if I could travel to Italy, if I could go to Spain, how cool would that be? And I grew up as a child with less means, right? I grew up outside of Philadelphia in a suburb and single parent for a mother, right? And so the idea that I was going to be a globetrotter was not realistic. Now, you hear about people that go, I left with a backpack and $50 and I toured all of Europe for 4 years. I mean, you hear people say things like that. But from a more practical standpoint, I did not see myself as being a globetrotter, right? Well, it wasn't until I was in my 40s that I got the gig with Ducati full time and they sent me to Italy. Then they sent me to Italy like 14 or 15 times. And I got to know the people, know the culture, start to speak the language. And I just loved it, and that sent me through Germany, Spain, France, and then and Canada, Mexico. I just, to be able to do all that was so cool. And then Suzuki sent me to Japan, right? So I've been to Japan and I didn't enjoy Japan as much as I liked Europe, right? Please don't take offense. If you're Asian or Japanese or, whatever term doesn't offend you. If you are any of that, I didn't enjoy it as much as Europe. But man, I sure did like the food. I love the food over there. So where I'm going with this is travel isn't, I'm not going to say it's restricted, but travel isn't as prevalent as it was. And a really great way to experience culture and people and to grow your network and to find value in people and allow people to find value in you. I'm going to encourage you to connect. Okay. So that's it. And one of the first steps to connecting, I'm just going to be bold. Subscribe, like this channel, right? Join this community, jump in with Mañana no Mas and see what we're building. We're building some really cool stuff. So I talked to you about, cultural and bringing people in from a global audience. Well, we've got students in our academy from Italy, right? From Denmark, from Canada, from America, right? So Australia, I forgot about Australia. We got people from Australia in there. And so do I wish we had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of more students using our tools and resources? Absolutely, right? But when I look at what's already in there and I think about the growth and the mark that it's making, sometimes I put up a course and I'll be honest, I mean, to my standards, I go, no, it's not really up to my standards. I hope it's going to be okay. But those are the ones where someone will take the course and they'll actually send me an email and go, oh, perfect timing, perfect message. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And then it hits me. It's like, it's not always all about me, right? It's about the people that are using the tools. What value are they going to get from it, right? So I encourage you, if you jump into the Mañana no Mas Academy and you try one of our free courses, or you try a couple of our free courses, and then you try a paid course, if you've got opinions, comments, concerns, man, hit the contact link at the top of the page, send me a message, and let's work on it together. If there's a way to make it better, I'm kind of open to that, right? Today's just been a really peaceful day. After yesterday, I'm glad to have a peaceful day. And I'm not just talking about the news that got released. Yesterday, I had a day. I had a day with my computer. If you follow me for any length of time, you know that I have been in a tech whirlwind. I've had 3 new computers in the last 3 months. I had an iPad Pro that became, a charged subject matter that got returned to its source. I've had all kinds of equipment come and go through my work area. And I finally settled on this Lenovo i7, right? And this Lenovo i7 was working great until yesterday when it wasn't charging. And I was starting to freak out. And it had an aftermarket charger cord that I'd gotten through I got it through Amazon. I don't know who they got it through, but I bought it through Amazon. And sure enough, just after a couple months of use, it stopped charging yesterday. And, I thought the computer had given up the ghost, right? I was freaking out. But I went down to Best Buy. I plugged into one of their displays and it worked. And so I bought a cord, $90 for a computer charging cord nowadays. But I bought a $90 charging cord, plugged it in, and it works. And so yesterday, with that event and having customer meetings and having what I call discovery calls with new people, I had all this stuff going on and the run to Best Buy and trying to get the computer back online. I mean, I was frazzled, so much frazzled that as soon as a break came in the afternoon, I turned everything off and went mountain biking, right? Because as I tell you guys, sometimes you just got to unplug and do a mental reset. And for me, a mental reset is some type of physical activity, right? If I exert myself physically, it tends to reset me, recharge me, re-energize me, right? So I did the mountain bike ride yesterday. Today I woke up early, felt peaceful. The weather was calm and cool. It's just a great day, right? And I'm getting tons of work done. It feels awesome. I waited till the afternoon today to make this Mañana Nomás morning check-in with you, and I'll put the replay up on LinkedIn like I've been doing. But I waited because I was so productive and getting so many things done and connecting with so many people through this LinkedIn process that I was telling you about, that I was like, I'm on a roll. I don't want to put the brakes on. I want to keep going, right? And that, to me, that's part of the excitement, right? As an entrepreneur that's working here in this workspace by myself, if I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I'm still excited to get into the work and do the work and produce the work and make customers happy, how awesome is that? How many corporate jobs have I had where I'm in for 6 months and then, you start looking at the clock at 2:00 in the afternoon, you're going, oh, how long is today going to drag on? Whereas working for myself, I'll look up and go, man, I can't believe it's 5:30 already. I better go check on the family, right? It's just the difference. It's just the difference in being able to switch gears and do what you need to do and add value to people along the way and have the autonomy to make decisions that help people. It's so much fun. Folks, if you are into any of this messaging, if anything that I just said resonates with you, jump into the mañananomás.com website, hit the Academy link. It's in the main menu at the top. Hit Academy, and there'll be a form that pops up. Fill that in, join that. I send out a message every week. It's got value-added information and stuff like that. Every now and then I put in deals for the courses, right? So if there's a course that you really want to take, but you don't want to spend $50 or $100, or we got some for free, but maybe there's something that you really want to take that has a fee to it, hit the contact link and say, hey, it would be cool if there was a special on this next week. Guess what? There might be a special on that next week, right? I'm about adding value to people and meeting their needs. I'm not about leveraging and optimizing each and everything, right? Because here's the secret. The more value I can add to a broad scope of people here in this Mañana Nomás environment, right, the better the chances are that a corporation or a company is going to see what I have to offer, and they're going to say, man, I want a piece of this. I want you to train the people that work for me. I want you to, teach my service staff how to communicate better. I want you to teach my motorcycle dealership how to sell more parts and labor. I want you to teach, my bicycle shop how to overcome a lack of inventory, right? And when that happens, that's when I train others how to optimize their situations and their environment, right? And so by doing what I do here, I'm hoping that you will refer me to do what I do out there. Hope that made sense. Folks, I love you all. I hope you're having a great day. Like I said, it's the middle of the week. We're going to finish the week strong. If you're in a position now where you're like, you can't wait for the weekend, man, I beg you, take a look at what's going on around you and wonder why you're in that situation that you even have to think like that. You should be thrilled to be doing what you're doing. And if you're not, hit me up, hit the contact link, hit me up in a YouTube comment, hit me up on, LinkedIn when I post this as a replay, and be like, man, what's the secret? How can I be energized to do my work every day? Right. And you'd be amazed at some of the responses you might get from me after a couple of questions. Talk to you later. Have a good one.